Hi guys, I just wanted to come on here and, talk about how to overcome domestic violence. Um, I've got lots of stories to tell. I'd normally start from number one, but let's start with the last guy. He wasn't actually physical violent. Well, I think we broke up before it probably got to that point. Um, but he was mentally abusing. He could never say, I love you. I told him I loved him. He could say, I love you too. I asked him, why can't you ever tell me you love me? He said, I don't need to. And he said, it's just something he can't do, which I find really quite controlling in a way because he kind of had me hanging on a string. And we were together about 20 months. After about 3 months in, we went away for our first time together for a long weekend over the course of a bank holiday. And when we got there, we went to Wales. We were walking on the beach, and there was a part where it closed off with like a circle of trees. So we were sat on a tree and we're talking. He's got a dog, I've got a dog, and we took the dogs with us. And before you knew it, couldn't believe it. There was no signs or anything for warning. The tide came. Was it in or out? Yeah, in. Sorry, it came in. So as we looked, because we were like round a bend, we realised we had to tread. And where it was uneven, some of it was deep and some of it was normal. But we had the dogs, and it was coming in rapidly. And he got so angry with me for Mother Nature. It wasn't my fault. It was just one of those unfortunate things. And I remember singing Rise Up on the way back to the car because he just stormed off when we got into the land, the beach, like the sand. And he literally just didn't talk to me. And his anger, he was fuming. And I was so uncomfortable, but we were away and we had to stay another night. And I was thinking, oh, Lord. When we left each other, when we got back, he was argumentative all the way home the next day, driving. He was driving. And it was kind of weird when we left each other, but he never phoned me. Normally he'd phone me when he got home safely, etc. Didn't phone me. And he just cut me off for about, I think, 2 weeks. No, it got to about 10 days, I think. Because on the 10th day, I said, I'll give it 10 days and then I'll call it a day. And on the ninth night, I booked a hotel for us to stay in, and he didn't call, and I knew then, well, it's over. So the 10th morning, I woke up, and he phoned me like on the Monday morning, like nothing had happened, and I was just like, wow, where do I stand? Um, it was going to be his birthday, so we kind of went out for dinner, and I asked him why did you just ignore me? Anyway, it took him a few days to answer me. And the second time he did it, um, I couldn't take any more. I was in absolute tears about it, and he got, again. I can't even remember what the argument was over. It was that stupid, but he didn't talk to me, and I think it went to nearly 2 weeks that time. So each time it was a bit longer, and I didn't know where I stood. Stupidly, I phoned him on a Sunday night because I just couldn't take the loneliness and the tears and had a bit to drink. And I cried in a restaurant, and the staff were brilliant. They took me into the staff room, and she was lovely. She was like a counsellor, and I got it all off my chest. She gave me a candle from the restaurant and said, phone her when I get back to the hotel room because I just booked away because I just needed to get away. And I said to him, I phoned him and I said, I just need you. Can you come down? He's like, no, I'm out and about now. Anyway, I said, you know what, forget it. Just bring my stuff. It was only a few bits like wine glasses, but they were special. And a few bits I just sort of left at his. And I said, look, just let's meet. Because he phoned me the Monday morning. And I said, look, it's too late. I said, just bring my stuff. And we met at National Trust Place with a view. Um, and we talked on a bench, watched the sunset went down, and we talked. And he said he got really scared. So it was really weird because he could never embrace me either. That's the other thing. So when I got there and I got out of my car, he got out of his car. And by this time I was done. It was over. For me, it was over. He came to me as I got out of my car and put his arm around me. And I was like, what? Confusion. Sat on the bench and we talk, and the sunset was there. It was quite nice. And he said, I've never been so scared when I was at work. He said, you asked me, because one of the questions I asked on our first date was, was you nervous for the first date? And he said, no, just excited. I was nervous, as naturally most people are. He said, do you remember when you asked me, was I nervous? And I said, no. He said, well, and he had tears in his eyes. He said, well, I was nervous meeting you tonight. I thought it was over because you said bring your stuff and everything. And he didn't bring my stuff because I think he didn't want it to be over. And stupidly me, I took him back. And he was good for a little while and got worse. And it just kept getting worse and worse. I can't even remember some of the times. They were the two main ones I remembered looking back. And I won't bore you with all the other details. And it went on for 20 months. And then he did it again. We got back together. And then my birthday, which was June last year, he had booked the Cotswolds a weekend away for my birthday. Anyway, on the weekend before, and again, he hadn't spoken to me for about 3 weeks this time, I think it was. And a woman called him. And he didn't answer the phone, and he just looked so shady, like his body language. Oh, I'll call her when I get home. And I was like, what? I said, no, pick it up now, because she kept calling. And he went, oh, I don't want to talk now because I'm with you and I'm enjoying myself with you. And it's just a friend. And I was like, well, what friend? In 18 months, I've never heard this friend. So I wasn't happy. And, I know you've got to have trust, which was one of the cards he pulled out on me is, oh, you've got to have trust. Yeah, you do, but trust is earned. And, if you've got like a random woman calling you all of a sudden that I've never seen her name in 20 months, something's not quite right. And you haven't spoken to me for 3 weeks. Anyway, I'd been cool and calm all this while in 20 months, and I don't know, it's like a volcano. I erupted. After my anger, I calmed down. Then I had some drinks because we were going to a party. Someone was leaving from church, and he just would not. I said, just call her back. And it would have made everything all right. He said, no, I'm not calling her back. I ended up going to the garden of the party of the church grounds and just had a few drinks on my own behind a bush and cried and cried. I was so loud crying that a neighbour came out, not a neighbour, from about 10 doors down because she heard me crying. It was bad. He didn't even come out. I was there 2 hours. He never came out to check me once. But because he was driving, I was tied to him. Anyway, it got worse, the argument, because the drink had kicked into me, and not a good thing, I know, but everything came out for the last 20 months. And, he didn't call me when he got back. He didn't call me in the week. And on the weekend of my birthday, on the Saturday morning, he's meant to pick me up. And I thought, well, he's done the silent treatment before. He's not going to let me down on my birthday. He's in the wrong. He didn't phone me. Nothing. So it come to 11 o'clock in the morning because he was supposed to pick me up about 8:30, 9, maybe 9:30 latest. And I needed to know, it's my birthday. It was actually my birthday on the Saturday. And he didn't pick up. I didn't keep calling him. I sent one text. And I said, could you just tell me what's happening? And to this day, so, all right, it'll be a year in June 26. He has never called me. And he's never texted me, and he's never given me closure, ever. And, I remember the first time that he did silent treatment, he always said, it's not over until we say it's over, But anyway, guys, what do you think about that? It still hurts, but you know what? I've grown so strong. I've started now dating myself once a week. I can't tell you how strong and all the beautiful things. I've moved into a new build. I have made so many beautiful things happen without his help. And yeah, the other thing was and it was only 6 months after he would marry his partner of 24 years because he don't believe in about marriage. I think he might have been bad to her because he had 2 children. She died of cancer 6 months before meeting me. And he had 2 children who are like 18 and 20. And the son, who's 20, he said to me, he used to do it to mum. He said that when she was alive, that he never understood it as a kid, but could feel the atmosphere in the house. But now he's a man, he understands what was going on. And one day his daughter said, we stayed up all night. We ended up playing Mario cards. It was like the second time I met them. But the first, before we played Mario Kart, old school, and they loved me, you know. And I said to the girl, I said, I'll be there for you. I'm not your mum, I know, and I never tried to be your mum, but if you ever need a female to talk to, I'm here for you. And she's really sweet, and so was the boy. And even the son's girlfriend understood me and said, when she saw me crying because we went away for Easter holiday, this was another time he gave me the silent treatment. She said, this time next year, which is now, your Easter coming up, you're going to understand why all this happened. She's beautiful spirit, beautiful aura. Anyway, the girl, the daughter, though, she said to the dad one day, she was crying. She said since their mum had died, and it was like they needed me to be there to hear this. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. And then we're playing Mario Kart till like 5, 6 in the morning. And the girl was crying. She said, Dad, you're good at giving me money to support us, but you don't listen. You just come home and go to sleep. You never want to talk. It's sad. I wanted to blend the family together, and I was hoping we could get a new build, like a 4 or 5 bedroom, so that we could blend. Because I've got 2 children, and I just thought we could blend them all together. But he just didn't want to make an effort. But I won't go on because I don't want to have this YouTube podcast going long and then lose your interest. But I hope you will be on my journey as I explain a lot of things of how I've overcome, if it will help anybody. So please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to, I've got to get to 3,000 subscribers, is it, or something, to get monetized. And I really want to do this full time, and I will get better as I go along. I'm going to do all sorts of different things I've got on my mind to do. And I want to get my voice out there to help people and how you can get over things. So do reach out if you need a chat. I'm always happy to try and help if I can. God bless you all. And, keep the faith, keep positive no matter what, and you don't need a man. You can just go and date yourself and have some good friends and sing. This is the other things I'm going to do. Singing therapy is amazing, and swimming, playing Scrabble. Honestly, there's so many things that I will share with you. So bye for now. I will end this now, and please like and subscribe. Thank you guys. I appreciate you all.